what they found out is other countries have trade protections for a reason, just as we do, and you can't simply forget that they have domestic politics, right? I think a good example is the Japanese example here.
Japan, an early target for the US trade team. Did people think that this was going to be a hard deal to cut?
I think the Japanese deal was one of the lower hanging fruit for the Trump administration, or at least the prospect of the Japanese deal was. Remember, this is perhaps the US's closest ally in Asia and one of its closest allies around the world. The negotiating teams get along pretty well. And the Japanese trade negotiator, he had been to Washington, D.C. no fewer than 7 times. They were doing everything right in order to get a deal with the United States, and the U.S. really wanted one as well. But a lot of these, once you started to get into the minutia of this deal, it got a lot more difficult.
As the two sides talked, one major sticking point was tariffs on specific industries.
And particularly with Japan, the automotive industry, the car tariffs are huge.
In March, Trump imposed a 25% tariff on foreign cars, including those from Japan. And that's a lot of cars. The US imports $40 billion worth of passenger vehicles from Japan every year. This is also coming at an especially tricky time for Japan, which has a big election coming up.
Japan's upper house of parliament has an election on July 20th. The prime minister's government is already a minority government. They're under a lot of pressure. And so they can't come back and say, hey, we secured a deal with the United States that left in place 25% auto tariffs. I mean, privately, we've heard that Japanese officials say, that would put our entire government at risk. It's a very, very touchy subject for good reason in Japan because the automotive sector is so integral to their economy.
These tariffs on cars have remained a roadblock in the negotiations. Japan's prime minister said in June that the country would do everything it could to protect its automobile industry. And last week, Trump appeared to cut off talks with Tokyo. In an interview on Fox News, he suggested he might send the country a letter.
How many send letters? What's the end of the trade deal? I could send one to Japan. Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff on your cars,
Reaction was just to say, hey, we're going to just send
Last
you a
week,
letter.
Trump appeared to cut off talks with Tokyo. In an interview on Fox News, he suggested he might send the country a letter.
How many send letters? What's the end of the trade deal? I could send one to Japan.
It wasn't just
Dear
Japan.
Mr. Japan,
Over the last
here's the story.
Trump and his aides have had difficult discussions with trade partners all around the world.
Reaction was just to say, hey, we're going to just send
Last week, Trump appeared to cut off talks with Tokyo. In an interview on Fox News, he suggested he might send the country a letter.
How many send letters? What's the end of the trade deal? I could send one to Japan.
It wasn't just
Dear
Japan.
Mr. Japan, here's the story.
Trump and his aides have had difficult discussions with trade partners all around the world.
Reaction was just to say, hey, we're going to just send
Last week, Trump appeared to cut off talks with Tokyo. In an interview on Fox News, he suggested he might send the country a letter.
How many send letters? What's the end of the trade deal? I could send one to Japan.
It wasn't just
Dear
Japan.
Mr. Japan, here's the story.
Trump and his aides have had difficult discussions with trade partners all around the world.
Reaction was just to say, hey, we're going to just send
Last week, Trump appeared to cut off talks with Tokyo. In an interview on Fox News, he suggested he might send the country a letter.
How many send letters? What's the end of the trade deal? I could send one to Japan.
It wasn't just
Dear
Japan.
Mr. Japan, here's the story.
Trump and his aides have had difficult discussions with trade partners all around